This video is actually my first Harescramble that I've ever run, so I learned a lot throughout this, and I'm going to be giving commentary of like everything that I learned throughout the process, and I'll be showing a bunch of stuff, explaining how the race works. So if you've never done one of these races and you're interested in getting into it, this video could be really helpful. I didn't know anything about these races. I didn't know that District 37 even existed, and I wouldn't have ever found out if it weren't for someone inviting me out to this. And the person who invited me, actually many of you may know, you may subscribe to his channel. He is the one and only Suburban Delinquent, representing his other channel, the Extra Delinquent, which is his dirt channel. Yeah, he reached out to me and got me on board for the race. He just sent me a message on Instagram one day, and I didn't know really who he was, and he just like humbly mentioned, hey, I'm also a YouTuber and here's my channel. So I clicked on the channel, and yeah, he has 500,000 subscribers, so that's a bit of a following there. So people here probably know him. But yeah, he invited me out to this one, for which I am thankful, because as you'll see, I had a lot of fun at this race. So first of all, there were a couple things that happened before the race which I found to be incredibly helpful. We met up because we were going to ride in like the general area. We weren't going to ride the course, but we were going to ride in the general area the day before the race. So we got there that afternoon and we were able to do some riding and stuff. And just going out there and being able to get a feel for the dirt before racing the next day, that on its own was super helpful. And another thing before the race that was super helpful was we went out the night before the race and just had like a baller dinner at this really good place. Normally before, when I've had opportunities to go racing, it's been fast food all the day before traveling. That doesn't put you into prime condition. It was a good pre-race experience for sure. And then Suburban Delinquent also rented a camper, and since there was a couple of us that were going to be staying in it, we were able to split the cost, and it ended up being super cheap. It was super helpful to be able to sleep in a nice warm bed in a camper the night before a race. That just blew my mind. Alright, so getting on to the race, the morning of the race, as far as sign-up costs, there were basically like 3 different costs. So there was the race entry fee, which if I remember correctly was $53. Then there was the AMA membership. If you're already an AMA member, then obviously you don't pay that fee, but I am not an AMA member, so I had to pay a day pass, which I believe was $20. And then there was the transponder fee, which in this case is simply an RFID sticker that you buy. So it was just a couple bucks. Once you go to the starting line, they do a riders meeting about 15 minutes before you're supposed to take off. And there they just explain to you all the major rules. They explain everything you need to know.
And please, when we put the banner up, shut the motors off. Don't make us wait a minute and a half like the last group. Yep. All right, the course is marked with pink ribbon, predominantly on the right side of the trail. Day glow arrows are for directional purposes turning. Down arrows signify danger or a drop-off. Day glow orange signifies an object such as a large rock. The really big rocks we didn't mark.
We didn't mark the sheep either. There's a dead sheep.
Yeah, we didn't mark the dead sheep either. It stunk too much. Day glow orange with an X is a road crossing. We do not cross any major roads, but we do cross the car course a couple times. So we put the X's up for those car courses, and as you know, it's got that big hoopy in the middle of it. So be careful. And of course, W's, you've not chosen the winning path.
So yeah, they have all these different markings to help you out while you're on the course to make sure you don't get lost or hurt. Compared to the other off-road races that I've done, these courses pretty much like overmarked. It seemed very clear to me where I needed to be. After the riders meeting, they give you a few minutes to warm up your bike so that you don't have to start on a cold engine or anything like that. So as I was sitting on the start line, I was looking up and down at all the people there, and I noticed there was a lot of really nice bikes and a lot of really nice equipment. So I was thinking I was going to be like totally outclassed here, because it was just like a load of really, really nice equipment and nice gear and all that. And I was like, oh man, I might be a little bit out of my element here. These guys look pretty legit.
What?
You
know how the starts work?
No, what's
So keep your bike have your bike off. As soon as they drop that, start up and go.
Okay. You don't have to touch your helmet or anything, right?
Nope.
All right. So that's our buddy Jake, who just explained to me how the starts work. So you just have to pay attention to the flag. There's no helmet grab requirement or anything like that. Just when that flag drops, you start your bike and you just take off. And I wasn't really sure exactly where we're supposed to be going. You can see like course markings and stuff, but it was hard to see if it was like a chute or anything like that. So I didn't have a very clear line, so I was just kind of plowing through bushes there. And I had just been told a very gnarly story about someone almost dying from a bush stab, but we'll go over that in another video. But at this point, right off the start, I didn't really see any course markings or anything like that. I was just following the crowd. And when we got to this part, to this double track right here, a little bit of worry started to settle in right here, because I was like, okay, I'm behind a lot of people and there's some dust, and as the day goes on, there's gonna be more and more dust, so I need to find a way around. And typically in races before, I would just go ham and like force my way up through the pack, and after all the racing I've done and all the poor results, I now know that I need to just take a chill pill and just kind of go at people's pace, and then when the opportunities come, just pass. So that's what I did. I did not go out there and try to hammer down or anything crazy. I just went at the pace of the people around me and picked through the pack as I was able to. And already right here, it started to thin out. Already we are not packed up, so that was nice to see, and I was able to start pushing a little harder. So right there you can see they had a flagger with a yellow flag telling you to be careful right there. Another example of how this race organization seems to be really concerned with keeping you safe and just allowing you to have a good time. Right here on these straights, it probably doesn't look like it because I'm using video stabilization so that you can see what's going on, but the straights are over 70 miles per hour. I might not have been going over 70 miles per hour there because it's the first lap and I don't really know what I'm doing. Yeah, over 70 miles per hour, and it is just a strange sensation of going over like little shallow bumps, and on the back side of them just going weightless, and the tires coming off the ground like that, just shallow bumps, but because of the speed that you have, you just go weightless, and it feels so cool. I didn't think it was very sketchy because they were so shallow. There wasn't really danger of bottoming out. There was no danger of bottoming out on the face, and then no danger of bottoming out on the landings because it was so shallow. But you still covered several feet in the air just because of the sheer speed, even though most of them is only like an inch off the ground that you would get, an inch or a couple inches off the ground. But it was still a really cool feeling. And back there where the audio cut out, whenever that happens, it's just because I'm cursing at myself and I can't put that on YouTube. So whenever you hear that, it's just me screaming at myself. Right here, I blew the turn a little wide, which lost me a little bit of space between myself and the guy in front of me. But I think he went to pull his roll off because we went through that. He went to do something with his goggles, or maybe it was his camelback or something. And that allowed me to stay on the throttle where he had to go one-handed, and I got around right there. But once we got into this single track stuff, the ground was actually pretty soft. The soil was pretty soft soil because it wasn't packed in and stuff like that double track. And I was running a pretty worn out rear tire, so you'll hear me screaming the bike out, waiting for the traction, because I was not running a tire that I should have been racing on. I think it was the same tire that I had used for the 6 hours of Glen Helen, and I'd been riding and practicing and pretty close to needing to replace the tire, and then went to this race on kind of short notice, didn't replace the tire. So in all of that single track stuff that we do, you'll see me fighting for traction, for rear end traction, and the bike will just be bouncing off the rev limiter. Again, on these straights, there was so high speed that I was having trouble maintaining the speed on my 250. This is a CRF250X, in case you're not aware. And the CRF250X, it has a super wide gear spread between 4th and 5th, because it's like moderate ratio 1st through 4th, but then 5th gear is just way out there for exactly situations like this, just so you don't run out of gearing. And that was incredibly helpful for this race, but also a bit of a struggle, because it's like you can't decide. Sometimes on those uphill straights, I couldn't decide between 4th and 5th. Like 4th was bouncing off the rev limiter, and then 5th wasn't pulling. So it was always like this tough battle between 4th and 5th gear. But still, I was glad to have the super long 5th gear. And I don't think I would have wanted to race a bike with an MX transmission out here, just because of the high speeds. I think it would have been topped out way too soon on a lot of this. I don't know though, because I haven't tried. There was the classic look back. In my last video, I talked about the look back. And again, I am super guilty of this in this race again as well, of doing the look back. So it goes both ways. But when I see someone do the look back, I know that their attention has just lapsed and that it's time to get around them. And then later in the race, you'll see me do the look back, and my attention will lapse, and someone will get around me. Yeah. I am super guilty of all the things that I complain about. Out here, when we're going through the bushes and stuff, I really, really enjoyed this. It was like loose soil / sand, and it was bumpy throughout. It looks pretty smooth because my bike is handling and stuff, but whenever you see me get up close on someone, you'll see how their back end is kind of just always kicking around, and it's because there's like this small chop throughout. You can't see it very well, but for me it was good to have that small chop, because it was like a limiter for me. I wasn't able to push super fast through it. Like, you'll hear me right now. I'm not accelerating. I'm just cruising at a speed, because I know if I go any faster, I simply don't have the skill to manage my bike in that chop. In the chop and in the ruts and stuff, I simply don't have the skill to not crash. So having that was probably safer than not having that, because I recognized that it was there and I just kept the speeds down a little bit. Because I know on courses that are like really smooth, that's where I'll be hauling butt and then come up on a rock and just eat it hard. And that wasn't the case here. It was all, I don't know. I heard people complaining about this course, how it was too fast and too dangerous. And I can see that. From some people's perspectives, especially depending on what kind of bike you're running. If you're running something that's made more for moto, like jumping and absorbing huge jumps and stuff like that, then obviously this would be a little sketch because the bike won't absorb this chop very well, and you'll be fighting to maintain speed in kind of a sketchy way. But for me, I really liked it. Really had a good time weaving in and out of bushes. It was like some small shallow whoops. It was good. Like right here, some small shallow whoops, so get to practice some whoops. And this is like mid bottom of 4th gear or top of 3rd gear. So it's not crazy fast, but it's like an enjoyable trail. And it had rained the day before, so as you can see, there's some moisture in it. If you see in the ruts, you can see some moisture. There's like that brown dirt underneath the top layer of dried out dust. And that was another thing that was just super helpful. A lot of the time, the desert is just straight up dry. Straight up dry. And if you start to wash out, you're just done. But out here, if you start to wash out and the tire digs in a little bit, there's plenty of chance to save it. And that happened to me a couple times, where I washed out but saved it. I was honestly following this guy a bit. He was going a little bit faster than probably the pace that I'm comfortable with. So that's like perfect. Obviously, if it's a race, you want to be going faster than you're comfortable with, but then like riding the edge where you're not going to crash, you know. And this guy's pace was just super good. It was faster than what I would have been doing on my own, but it wasn't so fast that we were going to die, or that I was going to die. So I was pretty much following this dude, just letting him choose the line, and I was watching his bike to see how his bike was reacting to terrain, and that was allowing me to gauge if I could push to catch up or not. A couple of times here I ran the risk of letting him get out of sight, because he would at some points he would just turn on the afterburners and gain a couple seconds. But I tried my best not to let that happen. I really wanted to stick with this guy because I could tell that was gonna be a good pace for me. Challenging, but not stupid sketchy. So I really wanted to stick with this guy. That's a huge help for getting better at riding, is to have someone there to pace you a little faster than you're comfortable with. Back there you could hear me say out loud, be careful. Oh, here's a guy that was about to pass me. The guy that was about to pass me, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe he was in my class. So I signed up in the 450 novice class. Yeah, I'm on a 250. I signed up in the 450 class. My friend Anthony, he's on a 450 and he was doing 450 novice, and we were riding the day before, and it seemed like we were on about the same level. So I was like, yeah, I'll just sign up in exactly what you sign up. That way we can race together and it'll be cool. And yeah, that guy just got around me. So that's why I was in the 450 novice class. And everyone was saying novice class is a good place to start. So that's where I started. It's like they have beginner class, which is like the entry level, like you just started riding, and then they have novice class where it's entry level but you've been riding for a while. So that's pretty much me. I've raced a lot of beginner class and had a lot of poor results, but this time I stepped it up into the novice class. Oddly enough, on a type of racing discipline that I've never done before. I've never done a Harescramble before. Never done a totally off-road race before. So yeah, I believe that guy up there, he was in the 450 novice class, and he just got around me. But during the race, I had no clue of that. I had no clue who was in my class, who I was racing. I didn't even know how the lineup worked. I didn't know what classes were on the line. I knew it was a multiple class start, but I didn't know which classes were in there. So I could only guess as to what position I was in. If you can only guess what position you're in, you just gotta keep fighting for every single position. So I kind of had a feeling that I was probably ahead of most people in my class, just because of how many people were on the start. There's quite a few people on the start, and I had gotten around a lot of people, and I had a feeling that I was pretty far out in front as far as the overall pack goes. So I kind of had a feeling that I was doing well in my class, but I wasn't sure, so I wanted to make sure that I was still pushing. The guy on the KTM, yeah, he put on the afterburners. He was out of my league right there. I don't want to say there was nothing I could do, because I believe in like getting better, and not saying there's no way I could have done better. But yeah, on that day, dude smoked me right there. So the guy that I just got around, you saw him do the look back. You saw him do the look back, so whenever you see the look back from anybody, it pretty much means a pass is about to happen somehow. The guy that I just got around, I believe, ended up being in vet expert class, but I had no clue. As far as I knew, he could have been someone that I was supposed to be racing against. I had no clue. But this is where this right here was probably the most difficult situation for me. The guy in front of me is too far out to where I can't see how his bike is reacting to the terrain. I can't see what line he's choosing, so I'm having to totally gauge everything on my own. Because of that, I was getting a little discouraged. So you can hear me right there. I said, okay, regroup, because I was fading. I was getting a little discouraged. I was like, I'm out of my element, and I know I can ride faster than this, but I had a mental block because I didn't know what was coming up. hadn't memorized the course very well on the first lap, because the first lap is just kind of madness, just kind of trying to fight for position. So it still kind of felt like everything coming at me was new on this lap 2. And here I was with no one in front of me, nobody to follow and gauge off of. And I could hear the guy behind me. The guy behind me was pressuring me. So that was keeping me trying to push, but I was freaked out. I really was. Back there, I slowed up for that group. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know that there was a bunch of observers on the course with their bikes out there. So I thought maybe someone crashed, so I slowed down for a second to take a peek. But I don't think that was the case. I think that it was just a bunch of observers that were just cheering people on. This is, yeah, I think that was the finish line, the finish chute. So this is the beginning. Yeah, I'm sorry. Before I was saying I was on the second lap, but no, that was still the first lap. So all that stuff coming up was still, it was brand new to me. Now we're on the second lap. See, even watching it, I'm confused. So you can imagine how not, what do you call it? Not oriented, disoriented I was out there actually riding. So this is the second lap, starting here. But again, I kind of have a vague idea of where I'm at, but because I was not paying attention to the course very much on the first lap, I'm pretty much disoriented. Right there I was telling myself to let those arms breathe. Something I've been practicing a lot is managing numb hands.
Breathe out. You got this. There you go. In and out, in and out, in and out.
From back there when I was started to get on my own on the course that I hadn't gone through yet, I got tense in the hands. Well, basically, when I get tense, it manifests in my hands. I grip too hard, and that stresses out my forearm muscles and my hand muscles, and it feels like it cuts off circulation. So a thing that I've been practicing since I did the 6 hours of Glen Helen was managing that. So yeah, I'm doing a thing called letting my arms breathe. It's this weird thing that I'm practicing, but really seems to help, where I'm transitioning the muscles that I'm using to hang on, basically. So right here, I'm still trying to get feeling back in my hands. And the guy behind me got around me because of that. I was fighting really hard to try to get feeling back in my hands, which made me slow up way too much. I went through all that wide open stuff in like mid fourth gear, which is, that's way too slow. I should have just put it in fifth, because my thing with numb hands is I can't hold the throttle open very much with the numb hand. So if I'm in fourth gear, I can only get so much out of fourth gear. But if I would have put it in fifth gear, I would have been probably way better, because a little bit of throttle in fifth gear is a little bit better than a little bit of throttle in fourth gear. What was I saying about the letting the arms breathe? So basically, I like transition from the different muscles that I'm focusing on using. It definitely takes my mind off the race, so I slow up, but it allows me to be safer. The thing that I have struggled with in racing definitely is being safe. I mean, if you've watched any of my other races, I'm just always crashing. So the thing that I've been practicing is not crashing. Like managing my ability to stay in control of the bike and just not crash and just make it through the whole race at a decent pace. Right there, I got hit with some rocks, and they hurt. They hurt so bad. I thought they had actually like pierced my skin. They hurt so bad, but they didn't. I have all sorts of bruises from them, but no broken skin. Well, a little bit of broken skin. One of them's bleeding, but. I'm yelling at the bike and then yelling at myself to go faster. Because this uphill, it's that battle between 4th and 5th gear. 5th gear not pulling, 4th gear on the rev limiter. Such a struggle. I was super excited to have pulled that off. That guy, the guy behind me, I think he was on a 450. I don't know for sure, but at the time, I was pretty sure he was on a 450, so having passed him, I was like, yay, I accomplished something. This section was really cool because it was like a deeper type of sand. It wasn't hard packed in. That was fun to just throttle through that. After the race, everyone was talking about the lake, and that back there, that was the lake. People were saying how if someone was next to them or behind them, they'd just go straight in the middle of the lake and then just blast them with mud. So that's fun. Those are the fun things about racing. When you get into a battle like that and you start getting creative to try to win the battle, that's good fun. Obviously, out here it's like a really family-oriented atmosphere, which is just so cool because people are still battling, but nobody is battling sketchy. I didn't see any sketchy battling out here. Nobody's taking you out in the corners like in all the moto that I've raced, the motocross. People straight kill me in the corners, and it's just frustrating. People just try to take you out of the race, like put you out of the race. Here, there's none of that. Everyone's respectful. It was really cool. Back there, I was telling myself, careful, careful, careful. When I need to get myself to do something, and I really need to get myself to do something, I'll just say it out loud over and over during the race. It's like a part of the brain that's involved with riding gets too focused on riding and won't listen to my internal voice. And it's like there's this total disconnect between two different parts of my brain, like the communication consciousness side and the like physical, like athletic side. I don't know. So like I'll be thinking do something and it won't happen, so I have to say it out loud. And then it's like it's like the other part of my brain responds is like, okay, it's weird. It's that moto meditation where your brain is so working so hard on the task at hand that these weird malfunctions like that start happening. So yeah, that's what I do. When I need to tell myself something, I'll tell myself something out loud. I was sketched out going over those crests. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't gonna crash. Like I said earlier, my whole focus lately has been on being able to do decent pace without crashing, because that's what I've always struggled with. I've always done decent pace with crashing. Now I'm working on decent pace without crashing. And in this race it seems to be working, because I'm pretty far out front. So this whoop section right there, you won't be able to see it because something happens to my camera in a bit, but at one point I went hauling way too fast. It was the last lap. I went hauling way too fast through there at basically top speed and saw my life flash before my eyes. But I was in a battle with someone and it was the only way to keep that person from getting around me, so I just I did it, but it was super sketch. Man, you can see me just fading pretty bad. And it's not, but the thing is, the thing that I'm kind of proud of is that it was not like I'm running out of breath and I'm dying and I need to hit the gym. My whole body was good and I was just playing it smart. I was just concentrating on managing the numb hands. That's like pretty much the only physical problem I was having at this point anyway. So I was just focusing on managing that and just keeping a decent pace, which is nice. It's nice to be in that situation compared to racing that I've done before where I'm just all jacked up. You can hear someone from behind pressuring me. And I let it push me to go faster a little bit. But again, I was trying to stay smart and not crash, because I knew that crashing would be a whole lot worse than simply losing a one position battle. I've been down that road way too many times. I've learned that lesson way too many times. I went off course a little bit right there. Kind of surprised I didn't get past. But my suspicion is the person behind me was kind of following and did the same thing. You can hear him in my video. You can hear him behind me. I'm holding this person up. This person is at a faster pace than I am, and I am just this roadblock right here. And you got a lot of room with no bushes right here, so guess what? That person's like, see ya. People on the sides were giving you indications of what position you were in, and I don't know if it comes up in the video because of my camera issue coming up in a bit, but at one point I came up to a spot and a guy was like 3rd overall. I was like, 3rd overall? He was talking to the guy in front of me, but I was like, 3rd overall? Holy cow! I had no clue I was that far up front. So that means I was in 4th overall. But yeah, so that blew my mind. And that actually got me to start charging a little harder. But I'm not sure if we get to see that because of the camera issue. There's the camera issue. Freaking butterfly hit my lens, and then later on after that got hit with a rock and shattered the lens, so another GoPro lens down. So here I am. I put in a couple clips with the jacked up lens. Right back there I was in a battle, you could hear the person. Right here I did a look back and that was pretty much game over. Person gained on me real quick and just flew around. This is the end of the 2nd lap, I think. Kind of hard to see through here. Yep, end of the 2nd lap. So coming out of this chute is starting the 3rd lap, which is the final lap. They had waved a white flag for us, so we knew. The way it works is it's an hour long, so there's no set amount of laps that you will do, but it's an hour long. And when they know you're not going to make another lap, they wave the white flag and then the checkered flag when you're finishing. So that right there, that pass that I just made, that was my 1st place pass. That put me in the lead for the class. I didn't know it at the time. I thought it was just another pass. But yeah, that was a pass for the win basically. On the last lap I made that pass. And then a guy just went past me, so I think I was in 3rd overall. After the pass for the 1st place in class, I was 3rd overall, but then the guy got past me and I was 4th overall. And then right here, he got past me, putting me into 5th overall. When that guy on the Yamaha got past me, it was no competition. He blew past me and he didn't look back. He was just gone. And then once again, I was all on my own pretty much for the rest of the lap. And this is the finish line. You obviously can't see anything. This is super lame, but this is the finish line. Just gotta make it through this chute and that's the end of the race. At the end here, they give you a little pin for finishing.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, nice riding. That was a good pace.
To get around you?
Dude, yeah.
So that's the guy that flew past me. Actually,
that's fun.
Both of those guys flew past me.
I don't know how well I finished. I did well?
Right here at the top, man. You're like in the top 10.
Oh, sick.
Hey, you did good, man.
Thanks. Yeah, that was fun. I've never done one of these before. That was super fun.
You're hanging with some of the big guys, man. That's the fastest guy right there.
Yellow? Oh.
Finisher.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Right up there with the pros and experts.
Damn. I topped my bike out 78. All pinned out.
wide open.
Oh yeah, it was really fast.
He said the next one's technical.
Okay.
You do the second race, do the second one, aren't you?
I might. I kind of left it all out there. I gotta see how I feel in a minute.
How was it?
There's Suburban Delinquent.
That course,
Dude, I was tripping on
He was in our race too.
that course was dangerous.
Dude, I just went for it, dude. I overshot every major corner.
Same here.
Really? Was it just not fun?
It was not.
Like
that well.
up there coming down, it looked like you weren't supposed to go up and down to the left. It looked like it wanted you to go to the right.
Yeah.
That every major turn, I messed up.
I did too. Some of those really fast-paced turns were not.
The funny part is, I messed up so consistently every single lap that I just followed my own tracks back to those turns.
I don't think you're in laps.
No,
you're not.
I passed some people, dude.
Nice.
Did you get any little battles at all?
Not really.
I had to guess probably about 7 or 8 people behind you.
Really? Dude, I gave everything I had today.
And that's how I felt too. I felt like I gave it all there. That's the end of the race. I did not end up doing the second race. My shoulder felt like it was falling out of its socket. I have a shoulder injury. I pressed my shoulder in and broke my collarbone and stuff. So I have a jacked up shoulder, and it just stopped working after I stopped moving. I couldn't even lift up my shoulder. So I did not do the second race. I just called it quits. And I still had no clue how I finished, but as it would turn out, I had gotten first place in my class, and that is the first time I've ever gotten first place in anything. Never won anything before in my life. So it felt really cool. Next time I'll be going up into the faster class. No more beginner and novice stuff for me. It's going to be intermediate and expert from now on, which is just a big accomplishment. I'm super happy with it. Can't wait to do more racing. This makes me so hungry. I've been doing this stuff for over a decade and never had a result like this. Mediocre results over and over, but I finally did it, and yeah, it just makes me so much hungrier. I'm gonna practice even harder now and just fight even harder and just keep progressing. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that was helpful if you're trying to get into racing. There's a lot more footage from the weekend, but I'm kind of holding it in reserve. It's probably all gonna end up being part of the big 24 Hours of Glen Helen project. That's how we ended up coming together, Suburban Delinquent and I, because of the 24 Hours of Glen Helen project, where we're gonna race that thing. Yeah, so we're doing that, and a lot of the footage from this weekend is part of that story. Anyway, thanks for watching. It's just gonna play through the whole race again with no commentary, so feel free to watch that again if you'd like. See you around.
What?
You know how the starts work?
No, what's
So keep your bike have your bike off. As soon as they drop that, start up and go.
Okay. You don't have to touch your helmet or anything, right?
Nope.
All right.
All right, each lap is 13 miles. I think he said right now the course for 17 minutes. That'll be interesting to see, right? Wait, 17 minutes per lap.
for a dust lap of 17 minutes.
good. Yeah, nice riding. That was a good pace.
To get around you?
Dude, yeah, that was good racing, man. That was fun. I don't know how well I finished. I did well?
Right here at the top, man. You're like in the top 10.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, you did good, man.
Thanks. Yeah, that was fun. I've never done one of these before. That was super fun.
You're hanging with some of the big guys, man. That's the fastest guy right there.
Yellow? Oh.
Who's that? Finisher.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
You're right up there with some pros and experts.
Damn. I topped my bike out 78. All pinned out.
Pretty wide open.
Oh, yeah. It was really fast.
You said the next one's technical.
Okay.
You're doing the second race, you're doing the second one, aren't you?
I might. I kind of left it all out there. I got to see how I feel in a minute.
How was it?
I didn't wreck.
Oh, really?
That course,
Dude, I was tripping on you the whole. I was like,
Yeah.
God, I hope.
that course was dangerous.
Dude, I just went for it, dude. I overshot every major corner.
Same here.
Really? Was it just
It was not.
like up there coming down? It looked like you weren't supposed to go up and down to the left. It looked like it wanted you to go to the right.
Yeah.
At every major turn.
I did too. Some of those really fast-paced turns were not.
The funny part is, I messed up so consistently every single lap that I just followed my own tracks back to the turn.
I don't
Nice.
think you're in last.
No, you're not.
I passed some people, dude.
Nice.
Did you get any little battles at all?
Not really.
I had to guess probably about